All right, big news in the world of entertainment. Netflix has decided it will not renew its deal with Prince Harry and Meghan. It looks like the $100 million multi-year contract with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex is set to expire in September, and that's where Netflix will leave.
Okay, so guess what? Meghan totally freaked out when she found out that the Netflix boss, Ted Sarandos himself, ended her and Harry's big $100 million deal like this was her big Hollywood move after leaving the royals. And now it's just gone, and people are saying she really worked on that Netflix friendship, and now it's done. And everyone at Netflix was like, yep, we all agree, this is final.
For Netflix doing this?
Yep, so this is technically not official, but all the trade papers are reporting this, but no official statement saying it's off, which is not as surprising given this. Basically, the business model has completely changed. So this was a big hit for Netflix. They got a lot of publicity out of this deal.
Okay, so Netflix is done with Meghan and Harry saying the deal flopped, and they couldn't agree on ideas. And the crazy part is, Ted Sarandos, who used to be close to Meghan, signed it off himself. And people say Meghan totally lost it after hearing the news.
But 5 years ago, they were throwing huge amounts of money for exclusive deals. And now they're realizing not always a good return on investment. So now what they're offering is much smaller first peak.
So like Meghan was totally shocked and walking back and forth, all mad, because someone she thought was her friend ended the whole deal without even talking it out. And to make it worse, she didn't hear it in private or anything. It was just this cold, boring message from Netflix saying, nope, not happening. And the thing is, this wasn't just a job thing. It felt super personal because she had really counted on her bond with Ted from the start.
And what it means is that all these producers, you have to pitch more and more and more. You're on a real rabbit wheel, a little guinea pig wheel, and you have to just keep working, as opposed to the exclusive deals.
Suffice to say, I know you were with us.
So Meghan and Ted seemed close with dinners and press, but then Netflix started canceling her shows, saying they were not good enough, and the bosses ended the deal because it made sense for Netflix. But Meghan felt betrayed. Ted did not wait to end it, and Meghan thought her fame would save it. But she was wrong. And after Spotify dropped them, Netflix just followed. No talks, no deals, just done, and no chance to fix it.
And finally, it looks like the Hollywood chapter of Harry and Meghan's fairy tale is heading for a dramatic season finale. And spoiler alert, Netflix isn't renewing. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex once.
You won't believe how Netflix just walked away quietly cutting budgets, canceling scripts, and telling people to drop anything with Archwell. It was a clean break. Ted Sarandos made it clear, no, going back, and Meghan, who wanted to show she didn't need the royals, now faces her biggest career flop. No deal, no platform, and no big friend to help out.
Dreaming royalty with a $100 million crown jewel of a deal are now finding themselves on the wrong end of the algorithm. So is the Montecito dream turning into a royal mess? Grab your popcorn, because this drama comes without a palace, but with plenty of intrigue.
So everyone is buzzing about how Meghan and Netflix calling it quits really shook up the entertainment world. But if you have been paying attention to her journey since leaving the royals, this was kind of expected because it was a big, risky bet that just didn't work out. The real sting isn't just the money lost. It's how her closest business friend, Ted Sarandos, didn't just step away, but actually took the final call himself. Like he signed off on ending the whole thing. And that wasn't just some boring contract move. It was Netflix telling everyone loud and clear that they have moved past the Sussex brand and don't see a future with them anymore.
Run dry, okay? It's drier than the Sahara Desert, okay? It's about as dry as Meghan Markle, but we won't go there. So Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's deal with Netflix, they just announced this morning, it has come to an end as we know it. This $100 million deal is boom, kaput.
You would not believe how fast things changed behind the scenes, like no time was wasted, and people working on Archwell projects were suddenly let go with hardly any reason, and budgets for their shows got slashed way before the news even came out. Meghan honestly thought the deal might get renewed and was sending new ideas in early June, but the Netflix bosses never even gave them a look. She really thought her close friendship with Ted Sarandos would make him put personal loyalty first. But Netflix showed it was all about business, not feeling.
Good, okay? You're calling yourself a duchess? You're calling yourself royalty? We're using the term royalty loosely. Okay, Meghan Markle, you should at least be in the top 100. I didn't even know there are that many shows on.
So here's the thing. Meghan really made a big mistake, thinking her fame would keep Netflix on her side. But the truth is, Netflix bosses don't care about celebrity or royal titles. They only care about how many people actually watch and stick around. And the numbers told a clear story at first. Yes, Harry and Meghan's shows got some attention and people tuned in. But after just the second episode, the viewers started dropping like crazy. Hardly anyone came back to watch again, and new subscribers who joined because of their content didn't stay for long either. And when Netflix asked people in focus groups to watch and give feedback, they said the shows felt boring and kinda all the same. Like, it was just showing off and praising itself with nothing really fun or new to keep people hooked. Unlike other shows that got everyone talking and were a big hit. Archewell's stuff just slowly disappeared from the spotlight and stopped being important or interesting to the audience, which is a huge problem when you are trying to make it big in the streaming world.
So Meghan Markle, her deal with Netflix is done as we know it. She's apparently going to just focus on her lifestyle brand. Now, they've announced this in People and in the New York Post, and People magazine is always the go-to mouthpiece for the royals. Okay, their publicist...
Even Netflix tried to sound nice, but they couldn't hide the real deal. Meghan's stuff just didn't work. And it wasn't only about the numbers. It was about how people saw her. She bet big on Hollywood, liking her and losing Spotify was bad, but losing Netflix like that with no offer and a cold goodbye from a former friend was way worse. And the silence from all the big stars after that was so loud. No tweets, no posts, no one trying to help her or boost her brand. The same Hollywood crowd that once welcomed her with open arms now just seems to watch from far away, like they don't really care anymore.
Newing, okay? It's like when you get called in and you get fired, we're just phasing you out. Okay, guys, HR is phasing you out. So it's not getting renewed. It expires in September. And they apparently signed this $100 million deal back in 2020, which feels like a lifetime ago. When I think about 2020, you guys, it feels like a freaking lifetime ago. But
So during all this mess, insiders say Prince Harry stayed low and quiet. He had his own project about polo, which sounded cool, but it got quietly dropped because the people working on it noticed no one was really interested. There was no big drama or official cancellation announcement. It just faded away from the lineup, and while Harry kept it calm, Meghan saw this as a huge betrayal from the whole entertainment world she was trying so hard to be part of. And after Netflix said no, she didn't just get upset, she was shocked and furious because she honestly believed just having her famous name would be enough to keep her going strong in Hollywood. But it turns out it wasn't, and that really hit her hard.
But she's not bringing home the bacon, and the show sucks, and nobody wants to see her traipse around a kitchen with her scrawny legs, selling dog biscuits and jams and jellies and whatever the hell she does, okay? Nobody wants to watch it anymore. And Meghan Markle, she conned the folks at Netflix into thinking she was like the next...
So this whole Netflix mess shows even being super famous can't save you if your stuff just doesn't catch on. Netflix wasn't doing Meghan any favors, and Ted Sarandos, even with their past, chose the business side over friendship. And it's not just Netflix shutting the door. Other big players like Hulu, Amazon, and HBO are watching closely when a huge deal like that falls apart with no chance to fix it. And that sends a loud message. The Meghan and Harry brand isn't unstoppable. Some say Meghan even tried to pitch old ideas again with new names, but nobody's really interested. These days, platforms want fresh new voices, cool original ideas and stuff that lots of different people will like, and Archewell's projects just don't fit in. Plus, there's a bigger cultural change happening that makes things even tougher for them.
Meghan Markle, you got your ass handed to you. And Prince Harry, do I think he's gonna stay with Meghan Markle? We'll get into that maybe a little later on in the show. We might have an Ask link later on in the week. We'll get into that as well. But we also have some more royal news, which is that So
it looks like Hollywood is just not into royal drama anymore. People have moved on to new things, and Meghan's story is stuck on repeat. Her plan to link every show to her own life has worn out its charm. Netflix saw that and acted fast. This wasn't just about losing money. It was about breaking trust, losing credibility, and showing that in Hollywood, loyalty only lasts as long as your numbers do. Meghan now faces a tougher, colder world where being famous or sharing secrets won't open doors like before. Netflix walking away wasn't just about changing shows, it was a big wake-up call. And Meghan is quickly realizing that in this business, if you stumble, there are no easy comebacks, and you really have to start fresh or risk being forgotten for good.
The world with President Trump's incredible trade deals and the secure border. Why are we talking about Prince George's birthday turning 12 years old? I'll tell you why it's actually important and has global implications, okay? President Trump is visiting the UK September 17th through 19th. I could not be more excited.
People thought Meghan had it all figured out, stepping into Hollywood with all the buzz around her name and titles. But the truth hit hard when Netflix pulled the plug and showed this was more than just a broken deal. It was a sign that something deeper was off. Meghan didn't come in as a creative powerhouse or a producer with hits. She came in as a duchess with headlines and hype. But in the real world of making shows, that kind of fame only gets you so far. And her biggest misstep was assuming the world's curiosity about her personal life would turn into loyal fans and lasting respect, but it didn't. And sources say Netflix started doubting the whole Sussex plan way back in late 2023 after the first show came out and numbers started falling fast. And now it's clear that Hollywood doesn't run on titles. It runs on results.
It is important that Prince George turned 12 is that he's no longer allowed to travel in the same vehicle as his father, Prince William. Now, Prince William, he's an incredible pilot, right? He's always flying these helicopters, he's highly trained, he's done search and
So things really started going downhill when Netflix saw that barely anyone was coming back to rewatch, and international viewers weren't that into it either. Meghan's animated show, Pearl, didn't even make it past the early stages because test audiences said it felt flat and way too focused on her image instead of telling a good story. And that's when Netflix quietly started reviewing everything linked to the Sussex brand. But the part that hit Meghan the hardest was finding out that Ted Sarandos, the one person she thought would handle things gently, just signed the termination papers himself. No call, no meeting, no kind words. Just a cold signature. And friends say she really expected at least a soft goodbye, maybe even a public thank you for all the work they'd done. But nope, she got none of that. So the way everything ended between Meghan and Netflix wasn't just a quiet business decision. It was formal, legal, and completely final. And what hurt even more was that it didn't just shut down a deal. It also ended a friendship Meghan believed was a key part of her Hollywood circle, one that she thought would protect her and open doors in the industry. And now, with Netflix officially out and Spotify already long gone, she's suddenly on the outside looking in with fewer and fewer allies at the top. Her legal team has started going through every line of the original Netflix contract, hoping to find anything she can still claim. Maybe some creative ownership or rights to unfinished content. And at the same time, her PR team is scrambling to change the story. They're trying to spin the whole thing as a mutual decision, like both sides just wanted to go in new directions. But people in the industry aren't fooled by that. One executive flat out said this wasn't some planned creative shift. This was a clear and final exit, and not just from Netflix, but from the inner circle of Hollywood where things move fast and second chances are rare. If you live for the drama, the whispers, the secrets people don't want you to know, and the truth hiding behind the headlines, then you're exactly where you need to be, because here on Taylor Tells, we spill every drop of the real story. No filters, no fluff, just straight up tea. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and get ready, because the stories are only getting messier, juicier, and more unbelievable. And trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next.